Ito'y singata kung talita na parong na Radio Fijuan na station ng Mutua.
Ako na koro ko na talitagi. Mandaw talitagi niya na parong Radio Fijuan.
Kitongo isu untuk talita na parong na Radio Fijuan na station ng Mutua.
Kito talita ka na Radio Fijuan. Na Radio Fijuan, endo talita kita nga singto ka.
Station ni Matino Pinatia na Radio Fijuan. Kongkolan Beyanyan.
Na Radio Fijuan nang dumoy bitin bonga ni BNN.
In this bulletin, Fiji and Indonesia signed 11 trade agreements. Home loan grant available for Fijians. And People's Democratic Party opens Suva office. Good evening, I'm Jackie Spate and this is FBC News. Indonesian President Susilo Bambang Yudhoyono has shown strong support for Fiji, signing 6 trade agreements with the government this afternoon. Yudhoyono is here for the first time, making it his inaugural visit to the Pacific Islands. It's a chance for Indonesia to strengthen relations with the region at the Pacific Islands Development Forum. Christopher Chand reports.
Indonesian President Susilo Bambang Yudhoyono arrived late last night and was welcomed by Prime Minister Voreqe Bainimarama before being accorded a guard of honor. Yudhoyono met with President Ratu Epeli Nailatikau today and held brief discussions. He is here as the chief guest for the second PIDF, which begins tomorrow, and more importantly, to explain their policy on West Papua, which has often attracted criticism. Yudhoyono has stated his duty is to increase partnerships with the Pacific and clear misinformation over West Papua.
More the leaders get together, I think the more understanding that would be reached in terms of the sensitivities that may be there on various issues. But
to further strengthen ties, the Indonesian President and Prime Minister Voreqe Bainimarama signed bilateral agreements this afternoon. It also coincides with the Indonesia-Fiji trade relations, marking its 40th anniversary this year. Indonesia's presence in the Pacific is also important, given its somewhat rocky relationship with Australia and New Zealand.
It is not only confined to those issues, it is much broader. The PIDF is one. They would like to engage. They have experiences and good practices in the blue-green economy they would like to share, and bilaterally also for Fiji.
The Pacific Islands Development Forum, or the PIDF, traditional welcome ceremony is being held this evening, with a summit proper to begin tomorrow. Christopher Chand, FBC News.
Prime Minister Voreqe Bainimarama also met with visiting heads of state who are attending the second Pacific Islands Development Forum today. The PIDF Governing Council meeting was held behind closed doors. The summit will commence tomorrow, with Bainimarama to make his opening address, followed by the keynote speech by the Indonesian president. This is the second PIDF. Critical issues in sustainable development for the people of the Pacific will be discussed in Nadi. Indonesian President Yudhoyono was hosted to a state lunch by President Ratu Epeli Nailatikau today. Today's celebration also marked the 40th anniversary of the formalization of bilateral relations between the two countries since 1972. Ratu Epeli Nailatikau thanked the Indonesian government for showing commitment and consideration for small and vulnerable countries. Ratu Epeli adds the strength of Fiji-Indonesia bilateral relations can expand into cooperation with other Pacific states. 194 Fijian soldiers serving in the UN assistance mission to Iraq based in Baghdad have been placed on standby as the situation worsens there. Fiji Land Force Commander Colonel Ratuchone Kaloniwai says the UN assessed the situation and evacuated all its staff. He says some Fijian soldiers will be evacuated while some will remain. Militants led by the Islamic State in Iraq and the Levant took control of the northern cities of Mosul and Tikrit in a rapid advance and were trying to move towards Baghdad. A budget initiative for people who want to buy or build their own homes is now available for Fijians. Prime Minister Voreqe Bainimarama announced in November last year the grant will be given to those who can't find initial funding for a bank loan. Eleanor Tarangaivu reports.
$10 million was set aside in the 2014 budget for this new housing scheme, $10,000 for those who want to build a house and $5,000 for those who want to buy one. It is part of government's top priorities to increase home ownership.
We obviously want to encourage people to build homes because when homes are built, it provides a much faster growth to the economy because you'll hire people to do various jobs, plumbers, carpenters, etc. And also it has a multiplier effect.
The grant is available to individuals or couples who have an annual or joint annual income of not more than $50,000. They must meet their bank's loan criteria. They must be building or buying their first residential home, and they must state in writing the intentions of using the grant towards their loan contribution.
For example, if you are earning, say, $45,000, you may want to build a home. A lot of people can do the repayments for the home, but they do not necessarily have the initial contribution that the banks require. Some banks, for example, require 20% contributions. So some people may not have that deposit. So when they go to banks and apply for loans, they need to tell them, look, we want to also apply for the housing grant that the Bainimarama government has made available.
The government is also assuring those who want to apply the assistance is a grant and not a loan.
It is a grant. So a grant means you do not pay it back. So this is our way of contributing to the economy, but also at the same time contributing to the housing market, but more so for individual Fijians who are at the lower end of the socio-economic scale and who may not get another opportunity to buy a home.
All applications will be assessed by the banks and forwarded to the Housing Ministry, which will only approve the grant if all the criteria are met. If the number of applications exceeds the grant or the balance, then the excess applications will be put into a draw. Applications are now available at all commercial banks. Eleanor Tarangaivu, FBC News.
Communications Minister Aya Said Qayyum has granted Fiji Television Limited a 6-month extension to its TV broadcast license. The extension is effective from the end of the month. Said Qayyum informed the company yesterday that the extension will be until further notice of any additional terms and conditions. This includes spectrum allocation that may be prescribed. The company will continue to broadcast under the terms and conditions contained in its existing license for the next 6 months. After the break, Child Protection Guideline launched.
Gold FM is #1 here in Sigatoka.
Gold FM is our favorite radio station here in Lautoka.
Gold FM is #1 in Nel.
I love listening to Gold FM in Ba.
We love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits here in Suva.
Hear about Coca-Cola, you immediately think of gold. I'm Josephine Sadi and I love hearing Gold FM.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Welcome back. This is FBC News. The People's Democratic Party today opened its head office in Gordon Street, Suva. Party leader Felix Anthony at the opening ceremony revealed some of the policies his party will stand for in the run-up to the polls. He says if elected, his party will review the minimum wage rate and improve health care. Our cameras were not allowed inside the office, we're told, for security reasons. The party will announce 50 candidates next month. Fiji has a new guideline on child protection which promotes a harmonious environment for children to be nurtured. Authorities in Fiji want to better protect underprivileged children. Josephine Avula reports.
Every child deserves to live in an environment free of abuse, violence and neglect. That's exactly what the new guideline is meant for. Doctors, nurses and staff from the Social Welfare Department are now being briefed on how to use the guideline and protect children who are identified as victims.
Child protection has always been a scary topic for health workers. We cringe when someone calls us and says they have a child who's been abused. Let me tell you that in the next 3 days, I can assure you, you will be fully equipped, that you will be confident to be able to take the challenge on.
In every community, parents, guardians, and anyone else for that matter needs to be responsible for the well-being of children. UNICEF Pacific Chief of Child Protection, Amanda Bizak, says people should start being open-minded about such issues.
Newspaper, or you listen to the radio, or you're discussing with your friends or your colleagues. Unfortunately, all too often we hear stories of violence and abuse against children. But we should not be disheartened by these stories. It's encouraging that people speak openly about child abuse, whether it be violence, sexual abuse, neglect, or emotional abuse.
Permanent Secretary for Social Welfare, Dr. Joe Korowiweta, says every child deserves to feel safe and be protected from all forms of danger.
Protection is a need, and is a special need for our children. And I do hope that in this meeting, and with the intention to launch the guideline, clearly we focus that we meet all those needs.
Korowiweta also says the protection of a child applies to every individual.
The Child Protection Guideline will be used to train civil servants with the knowledge, skills, and best practices necessary for the child abuse cases. Josephine Navula, FBC News.
The new office of the Fiji Trustees Corporation Limited was opened in Suva last night. Rashika Kumar with the details.
Attorney General Ayase Kuyum opened the facilities and says this is an integral part of government services.
It's not a very sexy part of a state-owned enterprise, but it is nonetheless a very important organization. The fact that they own their own premises is indeed another feather in their cap, and I'm sure it is very, very pleasing to their staff too that they can call these premises their own.
The Public Trustees Office provides administration of deceased estates, trustee services, will-making services, power of attorney and other legal services.
We do not expect Fiji Public Trustee Corporation to be making a 10% rate of return on investment, but we expect them to provide that service. Of course, it's great if they can give us a little bit of dividend, but at the same time, they must ensure that they look after their staff. The staff have a very healthy environment to work in, because they have what we call a very high level of people contact, very high level of people impact. So if they are happy, then the service they provide to ordinary Fijians will actually be very good.
The Public Trustees Office also charges minimal fees for services to administrators and executives of wills and legal conveyance work for the general public. According to Trustee Chairman Iqbal Janif, the trustee has made significant contributions to the government. In total, the trustee has given a total of $3.75 million and has settled and distributed over 4,200 trust accounts valued at $36.4 billion.
The new office is situated in Amos Street, Turek. It is away from the sea and is earthquake-proof to ensure that all the documents are safe. Rashika Kumar, FBC News.
The FIFA World Cup has been on everyone's mind, even those who aren't die-hard football fans. Here at home, it's reflected in the food, hairstyles and fashion trends. Chanel Sivan has more.
Day 6 of the 2014 FIFA World Cup in Brazil, and soccer fanatics here are glued to their TV sets like they have been every morning all week.
We're watching the game between Brazil and Mexico, and our team here is Brazil. We can, as you can see, Brazil is playing very well, but couldn't score a goal.
Despite not ever having played in the World Cup, fans have been waking up in the wee hours of the morning to catch the action. Even the hairstyles of the world's finest footballers is catching on. We came across this barber shop in Suva, which has perfected Argentinian player Sergio Aguero hairdo.
This is Aguero cut. This is from Argentina. So this boy wants this style, so I'm just trying to put this design on his head now.
Why did you choose this haircut?
Because he's my favorite player, and Argentina is my favorite team too.
Plenty hairstyles, my bro. So Sergio Aguero cut, Neymar cut, and many more to come for the FIFA World Cup.
We're not giving not high charge, almost $5 for design haircut, and plus more.
Even fast food giants McDonald's has football fever with a special collection of World Cup burgers.
So what kind of burger are you making today?
French burger.
funds in the bin. We had to go out of our way to make this event very special for us here in Fiji. As you can see, we've got our World Cup burgers. We've also got our World Cup Coke glasses as well. We've also had our uniforms for our crew. We've put flags in our restaurants just to get that environment that, you know what, World Cup is here. It's a massive event. It is the biggest event, biggest sporting event in the world.
The official FIFA World Cup soccer ball, the Brazuca, will cost you over $300 in Fiji, while original Adidas jerseys are selling for $269.
It comes around every 4 years, and when it does, Fiji gets soccer crazy. We all have our favorite teams, and there is fierce rivalry between friends. All in all, it's a month of best football has to offer. Chanel Shivan, FBC News.
And on that note, Jamie joins you now with sports. So Jamie, can we expect a World Cup soccer haircut from you?
Well, Jake, if I had enough hair, I would, but we'll just stick to the short haircut here for now. Anyway, coming up, FACT champions Nandi ready to defend its title, and Mexico hold FIFA World Cup host and favorites Brazil to a 0-0 draw. Details after the break.
Ito'y singata kung talita na parong na Radio Fijuan na station ng Mutua.
Ako na koro ko na talita. Mandaw talita gini na parong Radio Fijuan.
Kitongo isu untuk talita na parong na Radio Fijuan na station ng Mutua.
Kito talita na Radio Fijuan. Na Radio Fijuan and do talita kita lang singatoka.
Station in Matino Pinatia na Radio Fijuan. Kukulan beyan.
Na Radio Fijuan nandumoy bitin bonga ni BNN.
Welcome back to FBC Sports. Defending champions of the Vodafone Fiji FACT Nandi have been quietly preparing for the defense of their title. Having lost their star striker Rusiate Matirerenga to injury, the Jet Setters will be banking on other players to fill the void. Inder Singh has more on the green machine.
The champions from last year have not had it all their way in the build-up to the first tournament of the year, but remain confident.
The preparation is going very well, and as a defending champions, we are ready to defend our title in Nosori.
The side has also lost 3 players who played a key role in the win in 2013. Prolific striker Rusiate Matirerenga, Munit Krishna and Malakai Rakula are all out.
We have Samuel Dundru that was not in our side before. Last year's Fiji FACT, he's a very good striker. And another one, we have got a youth striker, Semesan Donu. We have tried him against the Bar, and I think he's a good replacement for Rusate.
The side had a disastrous OFC Champions League campaign, but that was a learning experience which has put them in good stead for the FACT.
Tough pool, and we don't take any team lightly. And we're playing Navwa in our first game, and Navwa is always an unpredictable team. So we go game by game.
So the Green Machine needs to ensure it operates well in Nosori, and they get their defense off against Navua, a team which will surely test their mettle. Inder Singh, FBC Sports.
The Vodafone Flying Fijians took time out of training today to visit their fans. And this was no ordinary visit, as the Ruggers put aside their physical nature to bring smiles on the faces of children at the CWM hospital. After all, the kids of the country are some of the biggest fans of the national team. Gearing up to play Samoa in the Pacific Nations Cup, the players were humbled by their young fans and have promised they will be playing their hearts out for them this Saturday. 8 sports have registered to showcase their talent during a sports fair which will be held in conjunction with the 2014 Olympic Day Fun Run in Suva. Athletics, basketball, hockey, women's football, karate, women's rugby sevens, table tennis and volleyball will be on show. The Olympic Day Run and Sports Fair in Suva will be held at the My Suva Park, with the theme for this year's event being sport as a tool in the fight against non-communicable diseases. The fun run on Saturday will also take place in Nandi as well. And that was your sports for tonight. It's back to Jackie now with business.
The Grand Pacific Hotel has already become popular after a soft launch last month. Management at the Grand Old Lady are hopeful the 5-star services will attract even more guests in the coming months. Ritika Pratap reports.
The Grand Pacific Hotel is the only 5-star hotel in the capital city, and as the name says, it's made a great re-entrance.
We have a lot of business. As you can see, every day we have lunch, business lunch. Many people are coming for business lunch, a beautiful lunch. We are starting there already by $28 up to $49 a menu. And then during the day also many people are coming. The hotel is open, and in the evening, of course, with our nice entertainment program, a big point also, yeah.
Eugene Dithelm says they're new in the business and things are slowly falling into place. Even now, GPH has become a popular venue for major events like fashion shows, corporate functions, and evening galas.
Very happy when I see the guest comments, and we check every day the guest comments. It's all very nice and everybody is very happy. Of course, there are always things to improve. That is logic in a hotel, in a normal, also in a other field where you start a business, you always improve.
With Suva being the hub of major activities, GPH is confident there will be a constant flow of guests.
We do not have too many hotels compared with the number of citizens we have here. It is sure not too many hotels we have. Competition is, of course, we have 1-star, 2-star, 3-star, 4-star, and the GPH is the only 5-star hotel. So we are having our leagues we have our hotels in Suva in different leagues. So it is fine like that, it is nice like that, and we work very well together with all the other hotels.
Work is in progress to open 4 shops at the hotel. Tomorrow it hosts its first ever Italian evening, one night in Venice. The official opening is set for August. Ritika Pratap, FBC News.
Today's weather was pretty good. What does the weather lady say?
Well, Jackie, fine weather all day long for all 6 major centers: Suva, Nadi, Lotokamba, Savu-Savu, and also for Lambasa. Now for today's temperatures, we had Suva on 29, Nadi and Lotoka on 30, Ba 31, whereas Savu-Savu 33 and Lambasa on 28 degrees. Tonight, temperatures will fall to 17 degrees in Ba, Lotoka, Nadi, Singatoka, and Tavua. Tomorrow's forecast: Suva will have cloudy skies in the morning with a chance of occasional showers in the afternoon. For Lambasa, fine weather in the morning, but also chance of occasional showers later in the day. Nadi, Lotokamba, and Savu-Savu will have fine weather in the morning, but just might have scattered showers later in the day. Finally, photo of the day is from the beautiful hidden paradise Savu-Savu, sent in by Mohammed Faisal Sheikh.
Thanks so much for that, Trish. Recapping the headlines, Fiji and Indonesia have signed 6 trade agreements on the fringes of the PIDF meeting. Government provides home loan grants for Fijians, and People's Democratic Party opens Suva office. This week's poll question, we're asking, do we need more political parties to contest the election? Visit our FBC website to take part. Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page FBC News. And if you're on Twitter, follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC News or simply hashtag FBC News. That's news for tonight. The team and I will be back tomorrow evening. Until then, stay safe. Nimodamanda.